Do you know what this symbol stands for?
Supergirl? Means hope, right? Hope, yeah, does it mean hope?
Yes. I will help you fight Zod.
Just for the record, I think this is insane. Well, we are back once again, people, and the world has bestowed upon us something we didn't know if we would get. It took multiple writers, multiple directors, multiple millions of dollars. I got a list here, and on that list I got some things to say, but what I can say for sure is it could have been worse. And, you know, to be fair, I went in trying to be objective, and it was better than I thought. But I have my quarrels. It starts by begging you to like it, begging you to give it a chance. And you know, that first, I want to say the first 20 minutes is kind of jarring. I don't know if that's because I was expecting a fuck up, or if that's because it was just a bit jarring. But I do know for a fact that anytime I'm watching a superhero movie, if you're going to catch me with the action in the first 20 minutes, you got to catch me. You know, you got to do something that's like really intriguing. Maybe go, whoa, okay, shit is really going down. They did that. And you kind of had me. It was like a tug of war for a second until the CGI baby started falling out the fucking sky. And when the CGI baby started falling out the sky, it was like, okay, this is what I was afraid of. We got PlayStation 4 fucking graphics. You know, it's a lot of this movie looks like a video game. Like a good percentage of it looks like a video game from maybe 5 years ago, which isn't bad. I mean, I guess it was made or meant to be made 5 years ago. I don't know. My point is, there's so much of it in this movie that it makes it weird. It makes it like you get used to it by the end of it. I feel like at some point you end up where you're asking yourself, like, is this gonna be bad? Like the first note I took of this movie was, I think this is gonna be bad. The CGI baby shower was cute, kind of funny, very heavy on the CGI, and it just made me think we were going down a rabbit hole that I didn't want to go down, and that I kind of expected we were going to go down. So with that being said, you get from that to Ben Affleck, and Ben Affleck ends up being Ben Affleck as Batman, but sillier, which I wasn't expecting. I thought it was sillier, which a lot of the characters in this movie kind of amped up what they were normally on. Ben Affleck came out in the suit, man. I was like, it hit me finally. Like, it finally hit me. I really hate all the Ben Affleck suits. Ben Affleck did his thing. He does his thing as Bruce Wayne and as Batman. I like it to a degree. Not my favorite by a long shot, but I like it. I just hate the suits they give him. All the suits they give him are just fucking weird. So you get this big action scene, you see Wonder Woman come in, and I just can't stand that fucking suit. But either way, you get to the point where, you know, you're 20-30 minutes into this movie, and it's like, all right, what are we doing? Like the entire intro, it's uncomfortable. I guess that's what I mean by it's a little jarring. It's uncomfortable first maybe 15-20 minutes. But if I'm being honest, talking maybe an hour into it, it felt like a very I don't know if this is fucked up to say or not. It felt like a very well-produced YouTube video. You know what I'm saying? Like the smash cuts, the graphics, like at certain points it felt like a fan fiction. So the movie starts, he goes to the spot to get his little morning coffee and a sandwich or whatever. Batman calls him, tells him to meet him at the spot, he needs some help, or meet him downtown, he needs some help. And that's along the lines of when the CGI baby shower shit happens. And you come to find out that Barry is, you know, just as annoying and clueless in this movie as he has been previously, which is why I kind of don't get why people have been saying like, oh, I really like how they show the dynamic of the two, We all know there's Flash and Dark Flash, or Flash and Reverse Flash, however you want to call it. It's basically older Barry and younger Barry. And younger Barry is just more annoying than older Barry. And it's kind of force-fed on you this narrative of older Barry has changed, even though he's still fucking annoying, apparently clueless in some regards. And younger Barry is just like over the top dumb and obnoxious, which, you know, that if there's a heavy-handed point in the movie, it's that, more so than even Batman, which we're gonna get to Batman in a minute. But you know what I'm saying? Like, how do I put this? I left the movie feeling like Ezra was not the person to be playing the Flash. Like, I'm mad at the bullshit surrounding this movie because it could have been great. But when in the first, like I said, 20 minutes is shaky, and then you get into the first hour and 10, and it's still, you're saying to yourself, I don't know. It's not until that second half of the movie it really picks up. All the Barrys are annoying, and they all have varying levels of stupidity. The kid Barry, his dad told him, you know, shit would have never happened. His dad told him, hey, call the police. Your mama just got stabbed. Call the police. Can you call the police for me? This little nigga runs out the house. It's not calling the police, and that's not helping your father. Maybe your father wouldn't be in jail, and you wouldn't have to go put fucking a can of tomatoes higher up on a rack if you would just did what the man said, called the police and said, hey, my dad just came back from the store. Can you send an ambulance, because he found my mama down here stabbed. I know he wasn't here and went to the store because I watched the whole shit go down. He could have avoided the whole thing, but nope. Little nigga had to be stupid, run out the house. Why'd you run across the street to the neighbors to use the phone? You had a phone in your house. It was a nice house. Anyway, all the mother shit was cool. I get it. And, you know, we all know I'm not that big on the Flash. That's why I'm getting this Flash part out the way first. I didn't really see the need or the necessity for the goofiness. A lot of the goofiness. Because it was like over the top, which kind of ruined the movie on that end. Now, if we get into the real shit though, what are we all here for? Who are we all here for? Batman. We're all here for Batman. Whether it's Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck, or a certain someone, we're all here for Batman. So when you get to see Michael Keaton come in and do all these things, and he the first reveal is kind of shocking, because, you know, the one thing they did with this movie is everything in the trailers that you saw was what it was in the trailer pretty much. I was surprised with that, because if you saw my trailer reaction, you know that I thought a lot of that nostalgia bait was, I thought it was going to be more that we could expect. All the nostalgia bait is pretty much in the trailer. There are a couple Easter eggs here and there where it's like, ha ha, like the laughing bag from fucking '89. That was nice. Anyway, that whole situation with Michael Keaton, from the moment he comes into the movie, right, with the long hair and the fucking scruffy beard, it makes you think, is this just some homeless person? Because the way you see Wayne Manor when they pull up to it, which was also in the trailer, you wonder, is this just some homeless man in Bruce's house, like the house part, and because Alfred's dead and he doesn't give a fuck, he's just in the cave, and that's what you would assume, right? Like, who is this? But then the homeless man hops out of the cabinet after leaving a flip-flop somewhere, hops onto the dish rack, starts drop kicking motherfuckers, right? It was real fire. And you realize, oh shit, that's Michael Keaton. He got the hippie look. Nigga look like George Carlin in the 70s. Both Barrys are there, and they're trying to, you know, ask him for help because Barry has lost his powers. Found out there's no meta-humans in the universe he's in, and now the younger Barry is the one with all the powers. And it becomes this thing where Michael Keaton has to help him. It had to be a good hour 15 maybe, where you're getting to the point where you're with Michael Keaton. And like I said, I said it in the trailer reviews, man, like, I think they're gonna use Michael Keaton's 70-year-old back to do a lot of the heavy lifting. I was right, but they did it in a way where he had a spotter. You know what I'm saying? He had a spotter. Who was the spotter? I guess Supergirl was the spotter. Batman did a lot of the heavy lifting, but the lifting that Batman didn't do, Supergirl did. Shout out to Kara. Oh my God. That was, I don't know how you look so sexy in a Supergirl suit. Like, I've never seen, I don't know. Regardless, when they find her, she looks all weak and hungry and it's all fucked up. And then they get her out. And then they looking for, they're looking for baby Superman, basically. Just to find out Kara and Cal got separated on their way to Earth. Zod is already invading by this point. I guess I should have said that. Zod is already invading because of all the going back in time bullshit. It's a whole thing. Kara gets up, you know what I'm saying, gets up to get back to Wayne Manor, to get her into the sun. She gets her powers back. She gets her suit back on. She hucks a loogie at one of the statues on Wayne Manor, knocks the fucking head off. You can spit in my mouth anytime. You end up just getting to this point where you go, okay, I think you got me now. Like I said, it takes maybe an hour 10, but I'm like, I think you got me now. There's a whole big fight leading up to it, and by the time the fight is really digging deep, by the time they really in the shits, you're hooked. And that's where I gotta say, everything I doubted about the movie, from the trailer reactions up until me sitting in there watching the movie, was it saved it at the end. Didn't save it enough to where it's like, wow, this is a great movie, but it saved it enough at the end to where you're like, I don't hate it. And if you went in like I did, wanting to be objective, but knowing in the back of your head you might hate it for everything that's not Michael Keaton, they pulled it off. I would watch it a second time. I plan on it. I think the fact it came, minus the bullshit around Ezra, because I still hate that he had to be the one to play this Flash for live action, because if there was a part 2, it would be probably really good. I hate that it had to be that. We all know there's not going to be a second one, right? The movie's 2 hours and 24 minutes. I feel like the last 70 minutes, the other half of the movie, basically, the last 70 minutes are enough to make you not hate the first half and make you leave there and go, okay, yeah, that was better than I thought it would be. Or that was a good movie. Some people even said it was phenomenal. I've heard the word phenomenal from people. I don't know about all of that, but I like the callbacks. I like the colliding worlds. That was a really, really cool thing. I think the colliding world thing with the multiverse is the incursion, I guess. I think DC is doing the multiverse better than Marvel right now. Made it more interesting. Even the spaghetti theory thing that Michael Keaton kind of came up with, that kind of makes it feel whole. You know what I'm saying? It makes it feel not as much of a leap of logic, I guess. Even though you can still find holes in the story for sure, but it's not. I feel like the leap of logic in trying to understand the timeline isn't as hard when you're using spaghetti to explain it, or noodles. You know what I mean? I don't think it's as convoluted as some of the shit Marvel's been dishing out. Like, I feel like there's a way for James Gunn to use this, even though it came out not when it was supposed to, even though I feel like it came out at the perfect time when it should have, outside of having so many similarities to the multiverse thing and all of that, which, I mean, whatever. I feel like James Gunn can use some of this and spin it back on us in 7 years. You know what I'm saying? When, let's say, his version of DC Universe goes right, it goes good. You can catapult off these things that people love. You can catapult off these things. I know the Joker is in a separate universe, I guess, but you for what we talking about that contains that, even if you get a new Flash, whatever it may be, I feel like you can use this to spin the block in a couple years and we'll be like, yo, you did that, bro. If you do it right, you could save the world. the DC world. If you do it right, you could save everything. I think my favorite callback might have been the "How much do you weigh?" Really subtle. Highlights of the movie: Michael Keaton, Supergirl and Zod fight, none of Barry Allen, Dark Flash, Reverse Flash, whichever one he's supposed to be. That was the highlight of the Flash in the Flash movie. Both of the Barry Allens as Barry Allen was fucking annoying. Because even playing an annoying character, well, I don't know. I can't blame it on, I guess it's how it was written. But it was, those parts were the most heavy-handed of anything in the movie. I find it funny that Bruce Wayne apparently has the same phone number across all the universes, because even when Barry went to the wrong one, Bruce Wayne called him, and the one and only popped up. The one and only, the forbidden, the one we cast to the shadows, dare I say Voldemort of the Batman. They found a way to throw George Clooney in that bitch. That was probably the highlight next to everything else I just said. But yeah, I guess as a rating, I'm giving it a 7, and it's closer to a 6 than an 8. Why? Because what could have been the $1 billion movie you shot for it to be, due to a bunch of unforeseen circumstances and bad writing in some aspects, you're not floating that high up the stream. You know what I'm saying? I can't put you at an 8. It would be a 6 if Michael Keaton's 70-year-old back didn't do all of that lifting it shouldn't have been doing. But like I said, where he couldn't, Supergirl could. So that was the spotter, and that boy was just running around in circles, blue and yellow. Yeah. If you like this review, if you like this type of content, if you like superhero movies, I tend to go watch a lot of them. Make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you leave a like. And if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I am BZZY93, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're safe in your travels and whatnot. And if you live in a world with metahumans and or spider people or whatever, just superheroes in general, because you are watching this in an alternate universe, make sure you tell me how to get to your dimension. Does YouTube work like that? I don't think it works like that. Nicolas Cage is the only real Superman. I'm out. I'm just trying to fly with you, fly.